Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 1st to the 15th, 2023 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously, so thank you so very much for doing so. Now if you're interested in entering to receive a free reading from me, put a turkey emoji in the comment box, and then a person will be chosen at random to receive this reading, and it will be announced through a separate video just to announce who has won the reading. So don't be fooled or scammed by anybody in the comment box telling you that you will be receiving this reading, because that is not me. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. And if you're interested in a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or a healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. That will also be linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of. Oh, no, let's not do that. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Let's start with that one. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. I love that. All right. So we have the Empress. We have the Hangman reversed. We have Judgment, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. We have, interesting, the Page of Cups reversed, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. We have the Nine of Cups, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. We have the Hierophant, and we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Okay. So there's a resistance to change that's going on here. There's also a sense that I'm entering into a new season of myself and of my life and of what I'm expecting from myself during this time. But again, we're going through a little bit of growing pains during this time. We can definitely categorize it as that. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Yeah, evolve, reverse. So that's exactly what Spirit is saying right here, that we are evolving, but we are a bit resistant. So there's a real strong sense inside of us that we know that this change is coming, and we don't know, and maybe we do know what it is, but for a lot of us, we're going to be unsure of how we're moving forward and what we're going after and why we're going after it, or, why it feels like I need to be somewhere else or doing something else. And it is because we are evolving. It is because we are changing spiritually. Now, it doesn't mean that we, run away from our responsibilities, or, we just, kind of give up on certain things. But Spirit is really saying here, know that you are coming out of a time of being squashed in a box, of being, held back and wanting to conform or trying to be a certain way. And you're just letting it go during this time. But a part of you is holding on. So just know that a part of us during this time, Pisces, is holding on to what we're comfortable with, or what we had been comfortable with. So let's see what Spirit has to say here. angels, and spirit guides. Ooh, immediately. Okay, so the energy to be mindful of is the moon, and we are represented by the moon in the major arcana. So spirit is telling us, hey, be mindful of getting in your own way. And that is absolutely clear during this time. Be mindful of getting in your own way, be mindful of the fears and the anger, because we can react to fear in two ways, right? We'll be afraid, but then we can get angry from that fear. That can take on kind of a life of its own, and it doesn't really need to, so here, knowing that our biggest obstacle during this time is simply going to be ourself. And I say simply because that's not simple at all. That's quite intense. So just being kinder to yourself, slowing things down, centering yourself, embracing what you love, knowing that you matter is just so important. It moves us to the Empress. And the Empress is us coming through. It's embracing our hearts. It's embracing our power. It's embracing our creative energy. It's standing up for what we believe in. It's not being as forefront. Okay. The emperor is very forefront in things, right? Leads the armies, everything like that. The empress can be more behind the scenes, and usually is more behind the scenes in history, not all the time, but in a lot of history, the empress is more behind the scenes. And that does not diminish her worth at all. This is going to be a time where we start to realize the part of us that maybe isn't as gregarious, as maybe we think we should be, or as, in everybody's face as we think we should be. Kind of the emperor is very much stands forward and says, okay, I'm here, I'm taking up space. And the empress also, takes up space, but does so in that more quote unquote feminine way. Okay. Does so in a more nurturing way. Though be it, there are plenty of people in history and plenty of empresses in history that were not second fiddle to anybody. This is also embracing our creative energy. It is embracing our, bringing things forward into the world, bringing things forward into our universe. We are going to be highly creative during this time, highly driven, looking at things in a very different way than we had looked at things before. And that can be a beautiful thing. It can also be a little bit overwhelming for us because we're seeing things in a more creative, productive, aligning with our energy, aligning with, bringing things forward into our world. And the hangman is we're seeing things differently. We're seeing things differently. I love that he is held upside down by two birds. So now the birds are upside down and he is upside down as well. We are looking at things so differently, and it's kind of like what was turned on its head is turned on its head again. And it's almost like once I got used to this way of looking at it, now I have to get used to a new way of looking at it. That's because of that creative energy that's coming forward, that insight, that passion, that power, that real sense. I mean, even look here. She has, oh goodness, I hit my mic. Sorry. She has angel wings behind her. You're being guided by your angels. You're being guided by your spirit guides. You're being opened to so much more. And it's just changing the way that we look at things. And we thought, oh, I have it figured out. And now that view is changing again. And it's like, oh, was that what I was supposed to be seeing? Oh, that's the way it was supposed to be. And it leads us to judgment. So here with judgment, we are really hearing a call to come out of a box. And there's something in us. You're going to feel rather restless during this time, or you can even feel anxious because, again, the different ways that the change moves us forward. And remember, the moon is always a changing phase. Yes, we have the full moon, we have the new moon, we know the different phases of the moon, but her face always changes for what she shows us. And that's the same thing with us. Our face always changes, Pisces. And that's not a bad thing at all. We are rising out of a box that we were put in, a way that we had viewed ourselves or punished ourselves or seen ourselves for however long. And we are stepping into our power, our insight. We are being more and more connected with spirit, which for some of you Pisces can be very, very overwhelming. We have the duality of our nature, but it's all based in emotion. So just know that our emotions can come over, and sometimes we can feel like utterly at peace and harmonized, and other times it's more of a ragey, chaotic emotions that come forward. So just be aware of this. But we are stepping out of the box. We are stepping into ourselves. We are seeing ourselves with more honesty, with more openness, with more insight than we have before. Are we going to be a student during this time? Yes, unfortunately. Do we like that? No, we don't. We really would rather be the master of the situation, having everything under control, kind of like that taking up space, that coming forward in power. But with the Page of Cups reversed, we are going to be an unwilling student. We are going to be learning a lot about our hearts and our emotions and what we deeply desire and what's important to us and what we're passionate about. But we're going to have a bit of a hard time with all those lessons coming forward, with all that insight guiding us. We might act a little bit childish at times, and everybody can throw a good temper tantrum, not just little kids. So let yourself have that temper tantrum, let yourself have that chaos of emotion, but do not be locked away by it. All right. There is a sense here also of, in one way or another, suppressing our inner child, thinking, oh, I should be reacting like this, or I should be reacting like that, or it should be like this, it should be like that. And oppressing that little child within us. And Spirit's like, no, let it show. Let your little child show, even if it's just as you're journaling or as you're working out at the gym or whatever it is that you're doing. Just let that energy come out from that little child within us, within each and every one of us. And you say, I respect you. I hear you. I'm connecting with you. I'm standing up for you. There's an exercise that we can do, which is just visualizing ourselves, kind of bending down, squatting down, and opening up our arms and having the little kid that we once were, run into those arms and us just hugging that child and saying, I love you. I see you. I will always be here for you. I always believe in you. And just feel what that does for us. That heals something, to have a nice big adult saying to us, I will always love you. I will always be here for you, even though it is just the evolution of ourselves. And just, is not used lightly. It's important. So here with the Page of Cups coming forward, our inner child can feel unheard, and we can feel like we're not connecting to what we once were. And so honoring that is going to be super important for us. Seeing ourselves is going to be super important, but also knowing that we're a little bit unwilling to be led by our heart, even though we're all about the heart, Pisces. We can be a little bit scared to let our emotions guide us forward, to let our heart be a part of us. With the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is a wish being granted. The Nine of Cups is beauty coming in. It is a real sense of, I've gotten the cross my finger wish. So during this time, you have a cross your finger wish. You have something that you really want. And that something can come forward. It can manifest itself in many different ways. So just know nothing is really going to be kind of as straightforward as we want it to be during this time. So understanding that and kind of coming to terms with that is going to be a super important thing. But with the Nine of Cups, excuse me, I just need a drink of water. But with the Nine of Cups, knowing that there is a blessing here, that there is beauty here, that we are moving in the right direction, and we're going to be shown that in a way that's kind of easy to understand, that's a really beautiful thing for us, and that's a really powerful thing for us. We have a very strong connection with a Taurus energy, okay, time frame, April 20th to May 20th. We can also have a lot of things changing, okay, the way that we take in authority or a relationship with a Taurus energy. So be mindful of that as well. But I do see this more linked to the Nine of Cups, which is just, moving towards a wish being granted. You're not falling, but Spirit is saying like you're falling into an orthodoxy of things. Not meaning that you have to join an orthodoxy or be a certain way, but the Hierophant is kind of like an established way of doing something. This is not going to be a time when you're totally reinventing the wheel. You see the wheel, you know it's good, you're like, oh, that's awesome. But did you know how long, I don't remember the exact number of years it took, or like, I think it was hundreds of years, if not more, before people looked at a wheel and said, that big round stone thing that you have, we can do that out of wood. And that just changed things. So here, there's this real sense of looking at something and it's already established. It already has its formula, its way of doing, its recipe, but you improve it. It's like, no, the wheel doesn't have to be made out of stone. It can be made out of wood. And that just changed everything, right? So here for us, we're looking at things during this time and it's like, oh, but why does it have to be that way? And why does it have to be like that? We're going into things more conventionally. but we're opening up our eyes to it. We're saying, well, why not like this and why not like that? And so just knowing during this time, convention, yes, you're a part of convention, but people actually in convention might get a little bit annoyed at you because you're not thinking inside the box. You're thinking outside of the box, even though you're in the box. So just be aware of this during this time. Express yourself, create, collaborate, come together with ideas. You don't really like being told what to do during this time. So being aware of that is going to be super important. You are taking up space with being the Empress. There's power. The Emperor was the most important person in the room, and the Empress was the second. So here, there's a power to you. There's a determination to you. There's a focus to you. There's an insight to you, but it's a little bit quieter. It's a little bit more elegant, okay, than hitting something, over the head with a stick type of thing. So just knowing that energy comes forward. It's very creative. It's very insightful. There's a wealth to this time, a sense of like dressing for success, a sense of, going for higher quality things. That's going to be very important to you as well. If you can, if you can't, there's no worry to it. Like, if somebody judges you, that's on them, leave it alone. But with the Wheel of Fortune, you're at a change of seasons, right? And we can see this outside. We can really feel it. But there is a sense here of things aren't going to change necessarily the way that we had expected them to, or wanted them to, or envisioned them to. And that's okay. So with the Wheel of Fortune, there's things that are changing, but it's not happening in the speed that we wanted, or something here is kind of like holding us back. We're doubting it. We're looking at it differently. And Spirit is saying, listen, it's changing, but it's not in the way that you had expected. Right? And so opening ourselves up to knowing that change is coming and change is powerful, but it's not what we had initially anticipated. And so there has to be that fluidity of the water sign energy, which we're really good at, moving with us. That's going to be a very important thing. Things are changing. The Wheel of Fortune is coming in, but there can be a pause on the way certain things change. We're not really open to it changing. There's almost a sense of like we want it to happen. We want to be kind of like breaking out, coming free. I'm just seeing like being in a stone statue and breaking it open and being freed. But there's a but to it. But it's like not yet. But I still have some things to do. But I still have some questions that need to be answered. So just be aware of this. Our subconscious spirit message is blossom. We are blossoming. And I love, the woman and the little girl. So that's a sense of even our grown self and our inner child coming together, a blossoming of ourselves into the person we were meant to be, into a connection with spirit that we were always meant to have, into a power and into a grace. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And that's the Six of Swords. It's that we're moving forward, but we have a lot of apprehensions about things. We have a lot of questions. And we can be just saying, just push forward, keep going. And that's fine. But Spirit is saying here, kind of take it slow a little bit, ask those questions, figure things out, find the balance, and then move forward. Because there's an uncertainty here. Our subconscious message, our subconscious tarot message is the Nine of Wands. And there is just a sense of feeling battered, feeling bruised, feeling overwhelmed, of wondering, am I moving in the right direction? Is this right? Like, is it supposed to be this hard all the time? A lot of people's opinions are coming at you. That's cool. But needing to digest things for ourselves is going to be a really important thing and a really powerful thing for us. All right. All right, Pisces. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. And have a joyous, joyous time. Let joy into your life. All right. I love you guys. Bye.